Alright, I'm right back out here in this bog in Harrison County, Mississippi, that was recently burned through a prescribed burn out here in DeSoto National Forest. I plan to be out here multiple times this spring, just sort of documenting it and watching it bounce back better than ever after this burn. So far, not a whole lot of new growth, except you can see some Sarracenia flowers coming up. Here's a very small bud just starting to emerge. Right after fires, they're generally triggered to send these flowers up, and shortly after, their pictures will emerge as well. They send the flowers up. It's sort of theorized to avoid eating their pollinators, although I don't think that's quite confirmed. Out here also, one of the first to spring up is going to be this species that I'm unaware of or unfamiliar with. Some sort of Asteraceae, I'm sure. You can see plenty of Sarracenia citacina down here. You truly, walking through this bog in the spring and summer, would never know just how many citacina are beneath your feet. But right after this burn, you can really get an idea. Here we have another bloom. The closer you look, the more blooms there are. Here we have some pictures that didn't quite get burned up. That's Sarracenia alata, or the pale pitcher plant. Here we have another carnivore of a different genus. That's Drosera capillaris. This bog also has Drosera tracei, although they're typically not awake yet. They come up about the same time as the Sarracenia alata pictures start to emerge. We'll see what else we can find. There's also Pinguicula planifolia in this bog, one of the only places here in Mississippi that I personally know of, and I wasn't even the one to discover it. A good friend of mine showed me this spot last year, and I'll check back in when I find something cool. As you can tell, this section of bog here got burned a little less severely. It's a much more wet section, and this is the area that we typically find Pinguicula. And right about the time I thought to myself, they should be blooming this time of year, the planifolia anyway, I happened across some. And so here's our first planifolia. Beautiful purple flowers on these guys. And planifolia has some of the best coloration of any of our pings, in my opinion. They get really, really maroon red out here during the spring and summer. Typically you'll find them a little more green right now. I also found the first Drosera tracei in the area. Let me see if I can find the hibernacula again. They're still barely growing, but here we are. You can see them just start to come out of dormancy. They'll have their filiformis leaves covered in dew within about a month or so. Here's another Sarracenia citacina colored up. Came out unscathed with some other Drosera around. One of the most interesting and one of my favorite habitats in the world. And yet, so little conversation, so little conservation surrounding them. It's really unfortunate. Just some more Pinguicula that I thought I would show off. That's quite a large flower. I wish I had a tape measure out here, but there's a nice little population in the area. It's very easy to overlook Pinguicula in these bogs, as low growing as they grow with all the other charismatic plants around, but they're truly one of my favorites. Another spot just rich in life. Tons of Sarracenia down here. Drosera capillaris. I'm sure there are some Tracei if I look close enough, as well as some of the Pinguicula. Thanks as always for joining in. We'll check back in again here next time. I actually am quitting my high-paying but very stressful job in order to do this more and pursue more plant-related things. And so I would love to ask that anybody that watches these comment, like, subscribe, tell me what you want to see, any plants you'd like me to try to find or cover, habitats. This is along the Gulf Coast of Mississippi and Alabama that I primarily go through, sometimes Florida. So don't be afraid to request things. Let me know what you want me to improve on. Because the corporate life, although I'm good at it, I do blue collar work, makes me want to jump off of a bridge. So let's try to prevent that.